Okay, I think I got it right this time. I picked a different setting and it didn't seem to work. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. All right, there we go. Anybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. You know, I picked a different setting. And anyway, it didn't work, so I fixed it. So here we are. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice weekend, a nice holiday. Kept yourself safe and are now invigorated and ready to rock and roll. So I've got some, as you saw when you logged in, I've got this set up in the
slowly slid it over, would it be like
two sections?
Slowly, like...
Okay. Well, I am now in my new office. Maybe I should give you a tour. As you can see, the background's a little different. Last time, the last couple of times I was over in Mahwini, my office over there, and a map was in the background. So here we are. There, isn't that great? Here, I'll give you, there's, well, I can't pull the cord too much. The nice thing about it is, well, I can't really, that's not doing anything. I actually have a view out the window. Well, there, that's not doing very well. So forget the tour, but I'm all settled down now in Whitney. So
good morning.
Here I am, and here are you. So are there any questions at all about the production? Well, we still have, maybe let's hold off on that because we've got some things to still, we just barely started the production possibilities. So I guess I should ask, are there any questions on chapter 1? Anything going on there? Has anyone had any problems getting into MindTap, getting registered, you know, that kind of thing?
I'm having a bit of issues, but I'm trying to figure it out right now. So like I try to contact the support. I'm trying to fix it. I don't know, for some reason it's not just MindTap, it's like other programs too. For some reason, I don't know whether it's my computer, but it's having issues getting in. I'm working it out right now. Is
there another place you could go, a library, anywhere nearby?
I think what happened is because my computer wasn't updated for a while, so now that it's updated, it's able to do stuff. So I think it should work now.
Okay, now if you do have trouble, let me show you.
And the other question, when I opened up the Blackboard, I saw that there's part 1 and part 2. So is there like 2 meetings today or something?
Yes. Now in the last week they gave me a pass. Now, okay, here's the thing. On the college officially uses Microsoft Teams for this sort of thing, and maybe you have professors who use that. I don't know anybody who hasn't had trouble with it. Mei Ping Zhang, or my colleague here in economics, tried Teams for a while and switched to Zoom, and she said students had trouble with Teams. And so I'm using Zoom as well as Mei Ping. And so what the situation is there is the college doesn't provide that for us, so we have to use our free membership, which allows us only 40 minutes at a shot if we have more than three participants. So what we do is we have a part 1 class and a part 2 class. We have 2 40-minute classes basically in our time slot. So when we're out of gas here, we'll end this meeting and we'll immediately start the other one. Okay, so you've got both links there. So just think of it as 2 40-minute meetings during our class period here. What I was going to say with the MindTap customer support, it's down here near the bottom. Give them a call right away. And chapter 1 is just pretty much just a warm-up chapter for us. Oh, geez. B just came in. hold on. I'm all excited about my window, and I had it open, and sure enough, there's a bee. So, where was I?
I don't know if we're supposed to be seeing a screen, but I don't see your screen.
You don't? Oh, thank you for letting me know. Hold on. Well, okay. I'm new enough at this. Now do you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay. You know, anytime it appears that things aren't going quite the way you think they ought to be going, let me know. All right. So let me go. This is where I thought you could see. Now you can see that for gains from trade, first discussion, lectures. Everyone see my screen? Down here it says MindTap customer support. You see that? Can you see my screen? Anybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see. Okay, I've got
Sure.
the right
Good.
stuff on. Thanks. Otherwise, I'll just go on and on and on. And okay, so if you have trouble with MindTap, call these guys. There's, you know, or there's only so much I can do if it's not working for you. I'm not a technology guy, but they will help you over there. Okay, well, let's I watch a little bit more about, I've got a pre-recorded lecture on economic growth this time with the production possibilities curve. First of all, we get a lot of bang for the buck out of this little model. It models scarcity, trade-offs. You know what? I think I'll shut up because I think I say all this in the video. You'll just hear it again. Let me go over here and get it going. If I can find it. Okay. Okay, I thought I had it up and ready to go. Ah, and there it is. Okay, here we are. Well, I need to click on this so you can hear the sound. And click on this so you can see the whole thing instead of me. All right. Now, if you can't.
Now we're going to talk about economic growth a little bit using the product.
Okay, can you hear the video and you can see the screen? It says economic growth. All right,
Possibilities.
here we are.
Welcome back to the home.
Well, you know what? I hit the wrong button. Got it. We're not getting off to a very good start here. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Now we're going to talk about economic growth a little bit using the production possibilities curve, of course. Now, to illustrate how economic growth is, we're going to use a kind of a simple example. Robinson Crusoe, okay? Or your favorite person. You. Let's say you are stranded on a desert island and you spend all day digging for clams. That's all you do. That's all you have time to do. You spend your day digging for clams on the beach, and that's how you survive. That's how you eat. Now, right now, since you're spending all your time digging for clams, the opportunity to increase your standard of living is pretty slim. I mean, You're getting kind of discouraged. You'd like to do some other things. Well, let's map this out with the production possibilities curve. On this axis, we're going to put clams. And on the other axis, let's put down a capital good. A capital good is a good used in the production of other goods. See, right now, all you have are your hands. I mean, you're digging with your hands. You don't have any capital goods. A capital good in this example might be a shovel. Okay? Tools, machinery, factories, those are capital goods. Again, a capital good is a good used in the production of other goods. Well, let's put on this axis a shovel. And to keep this nice and sweet, you have all the knowledge, you have the human capital, because before you got stranded on a desert island, you learned how to make a shovel. Okay, you went to school and you learned how to do all that stuff, and it just so happens that in the island, you get off the beach, you go inward. Oh, there's all the minerals, and there's all kinds of stuff. Everything you need to make a shovel, all right? Okay, so right now, you're making that many clams, okay? If you spend all your time digging for clams, that's it. If you spend all your time digging or making shovels, you could produce that many shovels. And we'll connect the two dots, and you can make, you know, a variety of combinations in between. So, you're here. You're right here. This is all you do all day long. And you make you dig for clams and you eat the clams. Now, if you wanted to, if you had a shovel, you could dig those clams up in half the time. And then you'd have the rest of the day to do other stuff. Okay, maybe you'd have time to go pick some bananas or whatever, okay? But what must you do to get that capital good, that shovel? You are going to have to give up some clams, right? You're going to have to spend time going into the interior of the island and getting what you need to get to build that shovel, and that is time away from digging for clams. So, let's suppose, let's give this a number. If you are going to build that shovel, okay, you're going to have to give up 3 clams. So in this case, you're going to have to go hungry a little bit, right? But once you have that capital good, that shovel, and this is the main point, next period, okay, next month, next year, whatever it is, your production possibilities curve shifts out. You can now have more of everything, because now that you have that capital good, you're more productive. Okay, these are terms we're going to come back to again and again. You are more productive. Productivity is what determines our standard of living. We're going to have a whole chapter on production and productivity. Want to raise your standard of living? Increase your productivity. And the only way you can do that is if you invest in some capital goods, and this includes human capital. Human capital, that's what you're doing right now. You're investing in human capital. Human capital is the knowledge and skills gained through education and training and experience. And I said in this example, you already possess the human capital to build a shovel. Okay. You brought that with you to the island. Phew, boy, that was lucky. So there you are. This movement, this shift out of the production possibilities curve is called economic growth. And over time, as we gain more knowledge and skills, more technology, more human capital, this thing just keeps on shifting out and out and out over time. And like I said, this is exactly what you are doing. Now I'm going to put another graph in here. Change it just a little bit. Well, let's put human capital on this axis, but I'm going to be specific and call it education. And maybe I'll even call it a college education, okay, since that's kind of what's happening here. It's one thing you've all got in common out there. And on this side, I'm going to put leisure. There you go. Well, let's suppose that you graduate from high school and you get yourself a nice little job, and you are basically, you go out west and you become a ski bum. You do some odd jobs, make just enough money to ski. You're living it up. You're right there. You're right there. Well, a few years go by, you notice some of your friends are now graduating from college, they're getting good jobs, and they're buying houses, and they have money left over to go skiing too. Some of them have come out and visited you and skied. You're thinking, well, that's interesting. I kind of like what they're doing. So you're thinking, and here's your production possibilities curve. Maybe I ought to invest in some human capital. Maybe I ought to learn how to do something other than bus tables and flip burgers. There's a reason why people don't make a lot of money bussing tables and flipping burgers. Do you know what that reason is? It's because it doesn't take that much specialized knowledge or skills to do that. Well, how are you going to invest in human capital? You are going to have to give up some of that leisure. You're going to have to do less skiing. And let's say you go out and you learn how to do something. Okay? So you have this much human capital. Now you qualify for a better job, or at least you're more marketable. Okay, that's often the case. When a college degree doesn't always get you a job in the field you study. Actually, oftentimes, especially if you're in certain fields, certain majors. But what it does is it gets you the interview. Employers will look upon you as someone with commendable diligence and perseverance and persistence and qualities that they would like to have as an employee, even if you didn't major in exactly what it is they do. So either way, it gets you in the market. Well, again, you had to give up some leisure to get there. Now, let's say you wanted to qualify for an even better job. Let's say you wanted to go on and be, something that requires a graduate degree, a professor or a lawyer, a doctor, something a little more. How you going to do it? You're going to have to invest. And how are you going to do that? You've got to give up a little more leisure. And when you do that, next period, that's your production possibilities. And then the next period, you keep on going, that's your production possibilities. I mean, some people are really good at deferring their consumption out into the future. And that's what basically you're doing. Every time you move this direction, every time you go from here to here, here to here, what you're doing is deferring consumption into the future. And that's hard to do. You know, we kind of like to have fun now, not tomorrow, not next year. But some people are really good at that. They're willing to work their tails off today in order to have this later. Okay, some people are good at studying long hours, day after week after month. They just go this way. But guess what? Whoa, they get that down the road. Now, and again, it depends on what you're studying. If you're studying something there's a strong market for, it requires specialized knowledge, there you go. Okay, well, that's how economic growth works. In this case, it's your own personal economic growth. It's your own standard of living that you're increasing. The way to do it, again, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in that human capital and gain the skills to get there. Now, kids, well, actually, some adults, well, I'll take that back. A lot of adults, many adults, but especially kids, virtually all kids, have a really hard time with deferring their consumption and their gratification into the future. I remember my nephew, he was about 3 years old, and it was like 2 days to Christmas, 2 days. Well, this was many years ago. My mom sent us down to the grocery store to get some things for Christmas Eve, and all the festivities. I took him with me, and he saw a toy gun right as we went into the store, and he had to have that gun. Oh, boy, did he want that gun. Well, I thought, okay, well, when he's not looking, I'll put it in the cart, and I'll give it to him for Christmas. We'll have it be from Santa Claus, I thought. We'll do that. But then I had to convince him that Santa would bring it. I said, you know what? I think let's don't get that now, because I'm pretty darn sure that Santa's going to bring that, and that's only 2 days from now. And so let's don't get that now. No. He wanted it right then. And I said, well, here's the thing. I know Santa. Santa and I are friends, and we talk once in a while. And I know for a fact he's bringing. I shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you. He knows you, and I know him, and he's bringing it. He's bringing it. It's a fact. So let's just hold on. No. He wanted it now. Okay, so I'm getting kind of desperate. So I said, okay, here's the thing. I pulled out a little economic scarcity. I said, Santa only has so much room on that sleigh. Okay, now, if he brings that gun all the way from the North Pole, only to find that you already have it, he's going to be upset. And you know what? And I've known him to do this. He's going to be upset enough that he's not going to leave you anything. Nothing. So here's the thing I want you to think about while we're shopping, okay? We're going to go through and get the stuff on the list, and you be thinking about this while we shop. would you rather have the gun today and no presents from Santa 2 days from now? Or if you wait 2 days, you're going to have the gun plus everything else Santa's going to bring. So there's the trade-off. There's an, oh man, wise Uncle Kent, boy, he sure laid it out right. I thought, man, am I the uncle of the year or what? I am amazing. Okay, he thought about it for about a third of a second. He said, Uncle Kent, I've thought about it. I think I'll take the gun today. Well, I threw up my hands and said, sorry, kid, I guess I'm going to have to step in and save you from yourself. We're not going to get it. Okay, I can't let you do that. You're okay. That's where I step in and just use force, right? So anyway, I did get the gun. He didn't know it. There it was, waiting for him for Christmas. And anyway, I was always astonished that he was willing to give it all away. 2 days. Okay, 2 days to a 3-year-old is an eternity, but he was willing to trade it all away to get it right now. So one of my favorite definition of maturity is the ability to defer gratification into the future. And a very immature child can't do that. A very immature child, young child, can't make this movement along here. They want it now. And some people are able to do it better than others as we grow older. Okay, well that's it for economic growth. We'll see you for the next segment.
Okay. Well, are there any questions? Any comments? Did you see it? Did you see the video I just showed you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
You've all got your mics muted, which is fine, and a lot of you have your video muted, which is fine. I just need to hear that you're there a little bit from time to time. Make sure I've got you with me. Okay, well, this last segment, let's see. Oh, it's 10:06. We're not going to get through the whole thing. Well, let's see what happens. Next segment, I talk about why the production possibilities curve is bowed outward. That's the only thing we haven't talked about yet. So we've talked about the trade-offs, opportunity costs, which are driven by scarcity. We've talked about now economic growth, the shifting out of the curve. And now the last thing that we do with this curve typically is we bow it out. It's not a straight line, it's bowed outward. And here we're going to talk about why.
Now we're going to talk about why the production possibilities curve is bowed out. Why is it bowed out, you know, like that? Why does it look like that instead of, you know, like this, straight line? Why do we do it that way?
My straight line got around.
Well, because we are
that.
modeling. Okay, let's look back at all the things that we get a lot of mileage out of this production possibilities curve model. It models scarcity. Okay, scarcity. Economics is all about scarcity. And because of scarcity, we have trade-offs. We've got, you know, we can't have everything. And when we trade one thing for another, the cost of that, what we give up to get one thing is what we give up of another thing. So it's what we give up to get something, our opportunity cost. So it models scarcity, trade-offs, opportunity costs, and economic growth when over time as it shifts out. And one more thing, I mean, this is a lot of stuff for one little model. And it models um, the law of increasing opportunity cost. Increasing opportunity cost. That is, as we produce more and more and more and more and more and more and more, we're going to have to give up more and more and more and more of something else. And another way to say this is the low-hanging fruit, okay, principle. We're going to pick the low-hanging fruit first, okay? When we pick fruit, we don't start with getting a 20-foot ladder and going to the top. We usually start at the stuff that we can reach up and grab the easiest. And then we get a ladder and get the next easiest. And then we get a taller ladder and get the next easiest. And then, you know, we start with the low-hanging fruit. And then we get the highest, hardest to get fruit. Well, that's what we do here. Now, for example, during World War II, when tanks were being produced for World War II, they didn't convert dairy farms into tank production. They converted auto factories. See, an auto factory is already kind of familiar. A car isn't exactly like a tank, but it's a lot closer than milk and butter. Okay, now eventually they may have converted milk and butter production into tanks, but they started with the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit was auto factories. That's what you begin with. All right. Well, here's a little example. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but it gets the point across. That's the main thing here. Let's say we have two goods. Okay, one is ballet. So we got ballet production, and we have football production. So that's what we do. We do football, we do ballet. That's it. That's us. That's our culture, that's our society. So, let's say that we are right here. That's where we are. We produce 0 ballet, and let's say we have 20 units of football. Where that's 20 games, 20 leagues, 20 whatever, it doesn't matter. Just that's how many units of football we do. Well, we think, as the benevolent leaders of our society thinks that we could use a little more culture. Okay, we could use a little mellowing out. We're a little coarse and a little rough and a little ill-mannered. Okay, with this game of football. And I love football. Okay. So, we think that producing a ballet, let's start a ballet. You know, that'll fix the problem. So we decide to go with one ballet. Now, all of our resources are currently involved in football, all of them. That's all we do. How are we going to get a ballet going? We're going to have to move resources away from football and into ballet. Let's say that's 18. So we're going to produce at this point on the production possibilities curve. Now, keep the low-hanging fruit principle in mind here. Who are we going to transfer over from football into ballet? We're going to transfer the low-hanging fruit. Those who are most productive in producing ballet and least productive in producing football. Okay? Think of tanks and dairy farms. Okay? So, Well, you know, ballet includes a lot of jumping up and dancing and stuff. So we might get some of those athletes who are kind of tall and slender and, oh, I don't know, a wide receiver, some of those guys. Um, anyway, we're going to move those over. Uh, and we're going to get our first ballet at a cost of 2 footballs. All right. Now, I'm not saying wide receivers aren't highly engaged in football production. They're highly valuable. They are. There's a couple of flaws in this example, but just hang in there with me. Okay. So, we like what we see. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. This is doing wonders for our people. So we think, well, if a little bit is good, more will be better. So we decide to go for a second ballet. And we decide to produce at this point right here. Okay, right there. Well, what is the opportunity cost of the second ballet? Well, the second ballet caused us to go from 18 down to 13. But here's the thing. So get out your fingers. That's 5. Okay. Now notice the first ballet cost 2 units of football. The second ballet costs 5 units of football. Law of increasing opportunity cost. The opportunity cost has increased. Why? Because we've already transferred our best ballet people and our least good football people. So that's why we were able to get a ballet with very little loss in football. But now we're going with the next best ballet people. And you know what? We're going to have to dip into a little bit. Some of the people we transfer from football are pretty darn important to football. So it's going to cause us to give up more football because these people are pretty good at football production. They're not quite as good as at ballet production. At least these guys aren't as good as these guys. Okay? That's why that second ballet costs us more than the first one. Okay. Yeah. We are so excited. Our society is just doing great. So we decided, you know what? We're going to go all ballet. We're done with football. We're going to do ballet from now on. Nothing but ballet. So we're going to go with that third ballet right there.
Okay, guys. They're warning me that we're about out of time. So let's take a break. Just a couple of minutes. We'll pick this up. It's almost done. And we'll go from there. So let's bow out of this meeting and go back and click on that second link for the part 2. All right? So I'll see you in here for part 2 in just a couple of minutes. See you in a couple of minutes.